Hey Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm really excited that you're here today. If you're new here, my name is Talia, and I'm a manifestation mentor who's been studying the law of attraction for over a decade, actually about 15 years now. So I am knee deep and excited to teach you all the hacks and all the ways that you can manifest the life that you're meant for. So today we are talking about inspired action, and we're in the middle. Actually, we're almost done, the 7-part series dedicated to teaching you the awakened manifestation method. So in episode 5, we launched off this series by giving you an overview of the 6 pillars of awakened manifestation. And now what we're doing is we're going through each pillar one by one so that you can truly hack the law of attraction, see which part of your manifestation funnel is being blocked, and gain tons of new tools, resources, and aha moments to take your manifestation game up like 100 notches. So the beginning of in episode 5, we did the overview. And then in episode 6, we dove into pillar number 1, which is understanding the law of attraction. Understanding that it's more than just like attracts like, and it's more than just acting as if. It's really important to understand the ins and outs of law of attraction, the nuances, the subtle parts, right? And this is where we move from a beginner into more of a seasoned practicer of the law of attraction. We start deepening our practice and really understanding the subtle components of what makes law of attraction work for us. Pillar number 2 was all about launching desires. So this is all about the beginning, right? How we put out what it is that we want and how we stop attracting the things that we don't want. So you learned in this episode that the universe takes everything that we focus on as a desire. So sometimes when we are focusing on the things we don't want, this causes us to manifest the things we don't want. So if you are manifesting habits or situations or patterns that you don't want, generally this is the culprit. Make sure to go back and listen to the episode all about pillar 2, which is launching desires. The next pillar that we went over is quantum alignment and the be, do, have model. This is pillar 3, and I can't even begin to explain how important it is for you to listen and understand this pillar. This is the base of everything I do, the base of Awakening Her, and the reason why we do all the other things that we do, like practice gratitude and surrender and being in the flow and being in the now, why we meditate, why we choose to feel good, because it's all about the quantum alignment, aligning with that version of ourself that already has the things we want, already is living the life we want, already has the confidence, the abundance, the love, the support, all of it. So in pillar 3, we talked about quantum alignment and the be, do, have model, which is so important for you to understand. Really, not trying to be dramatic or catchy, it is the most important tool that you could have. And in all my experience and in all my years of studying the law of attraction, it comes back to this baby. So make sure to listen to episode 8, which was all about quantum alignment. The next pillar is pillar number 4, which is about your belief systems and clearing blocks. And this one is so important because what we believe, we receive. So if you're feeling blocked, if you're feeling like you have subconscious blocks or limiting beliefs that are getting in your way, or you are someone who wants to create new, powerful beliefs to literally reconstruct the way life goes for you, this is all about pillar number 4, your belief systems and clearing blocks. And this is such an essential part of the manifestation process. Today, we are talking about intuitive action, which is pillar number 5, all about how to literally move yourself forward. Action creates results. Action is what propels us forward, but it's really important to get this and to understand that it's not just any action. It's not just doing a bunch of stuff. It has to come from an intuitive, aligned, inspired place. So today I'm going to teach you all about that, how to know if your action is coming from a place of intuition, and what to do when you're feeling unmotivated, like you don't know what to do, or uninspired and just kind of meh. So I'm going to go through that as well. And then in the next episode, it's the last of the pillars, pillar number 6, which is all about receiving. This is getting into the receptive mode, receiving energy, your miracle mindset that allows everything in. And this is where the last 5% of manifestation happens. And so when this pillar is blocked, what it happens is we get really good at launching desires and getting into alignment and having great beliefs, but our manifestations get, 95% complete, and they're just hovering, ready to bust through into our experience, ready for the check to actually be delivered, or the person to reach out for us, or the goal to be met. It's the last part that actually allows it to be materialized. So if we don't get into the receiving mode, and if we don't master receiving energy, all of those amazing things are just hovering, waiting for us to have them, but never really popping through, which is so frustrating and really just the last piece. I find there's so many people that this is just the last piece, and we do subtle shifts, subtle work, and bam, everything starts to pile into their experience. Everything they've been working on manifesting, everything they've been focusing on just gets to avalanche into your life because you nurtured and really rocked the receiving energy, right? So that one is in the next episode, which really ties a bow and brings this all together. So today we are talking about intuitive action. My intention for you when listening to this episode today is to really understand what intuitive or inspired action is. I will alternate calling it intuitive action, calling it inspired action, and I'll explain that in a moment. My intention is for you to stop feeling like you need to hustle, stop feeling like you need to be doing more, also to give you clarity on what will work so that you can just do what's going to work and not have to do all the things that aren't working. Also, the intention is for you to be able to feel good in the process. Feel good as you manifest. Do things that feel good and produce results, because that's the dream. It really doesn't have to feel bad. You don't have to struggle. It doesn't have to be this uncomfortable, gross process for you to manifest. It actually is supposed to be easy and feel good and exciting and expansive and fun. So I really have that intention for you, and I will hold that for you to be able to understand this so that you can be led. You can just start saying yes to the opportunities that present themselves and really take the type of action that's going to work, instead of running around looking for what you can do, panicking about what you can do, having, anxiety about what you should be doing. Instead, you tap into this place and it just flows. So that's the intention for you today, is to really understand that and really be able to master this pillar of taking inspired action. So what is inspired action or intuitive action? To understand that, I want to break it down even farther into what is inspiration and what is intuition. Inspiration, the way I see it, is actually a form of intuition. And intuition is the way that the universe speaks to and through us. So you know how when humans are speaking, we need to speak the same language to clearly understand each other. So if you go somewhere where they speak a completely different language than you, it is hard to communicate. It is hard to get your questions answered. It's hard to have your desires met. If you're asking, where is a restaurant or where is the washroom, and you don't speak the language, it puts you sort of on a different page. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but it is difficult. So the language that the universe speaks is energy. So instead of it being Spanish or French or English or Mandarin, it's energy. And when the universe is communicating with us, we feel energy, and that is intuition. We get a nudge, we get a knowing, we get a pull, right? So depending on what intuitive type you are, you may get an image in your mind's eye, you may hear guidance, hear a voice. You may feel a gut feeling about something that you should or shouldn't do. You might have a knowing, like, I just know I have to do this, right? So this is the universe speaking to you and through you. When you don't know why, but you know you need to go to Bali, or you're in a bookstore and you come across a book that gives you tingles and you just know you need to read it, or you hear guidance in your ear saying to take this course or call your mom or drink some water. When you get those intuitive nudges, it could be about anything, but that is the universe guiding you. That's the way in which it's helping you and taking you through life, right? It could be your guides, your angels, whatever it is, it's collectively the universe, it's conscious mind, it's the energy, right? So when we have intuitive nudges and inspired ideas, that is literally the universe saying to us, do this. This is your next step. This direction will serve you. Connect with this person, right? So the way I see it is that as soon as we launch Desires, the universe goes to work and knows the path in which we need to take. The best analogy I have for this is the GPS. So if you're part of the Awakening Academy, which is my membership, or if you've ever worked with me, you've heard me talk about the GPS analogy. You may have heard other people talk about it. It's a beautiful way to think of the law of attraction. So if I'm sitting in my driveway and I put into my GPS New York, I want to go right into Times Square. I put that address into the GPS, and within moments, it calculates an entire path to get me there as quick as possible. So that's what's happening when we launch a desire to have a $10,000 month, or to get, tickets to Thailand, or to call in a soulmate. Whatever it is that we have, the universe instantly starts calculating and sees the bigger picture on where you need to go and what you need to do in order to get there, just like a GPS, right? So in order for us to connect and link up with the path that the universe has carved out for us, the first thing we need to do is get on the path, which is us starting the car. In the physical life, that example of the GPS, it's us starting the car. Because if we sit in the driveway and we just look at the GPS and we see its route, but we don't ever put the gas pedal on or leave the driveway, we can't ever get the turn right in 300 meters or understand the next step, because all it's going to be is hovering in one spot. So action literally propels us forward. And as we act and as we go out on the path, we are given the next step. This is on the GPS where it says turn right in 300 meters, but inside our life, it comes as intuitive nudges. It comes as, yeah, go there. Yes, do this. Hire this person. Take this course. Or maybe go on a walk today, or try this recipe. It could be such simple things, but it's moving us forward and toward our goals, right? So really, action and intuitive action is the universe giving us that turn left here, turn right here that the GPS would give us when we enter our destination. So intuitive action is so important, because if, say, to come back to the analogy, if we're in our car and we just start taking random action, so we just drive down a random road and take random turns, and like it's gonna take us forever to get there. We may never get to New York. It's going to be a long road filled with actual detours and cul-de-sacs and turnarounds. And you can just picture that, right? If I was saying, I'm going to drive from where I am on the west coast of Canada to New York, but I'm not going to take a GPS. I'm just going to take random turns. Someone would be like, that's the least efficient way to get there. That is crazy and good luck. And so when we have a goal and we're just kind of doing random things, yeah, it takes a while. Yeah, we feel a little blocked because we're not co-creating. We're not using the internal GPS that we have. It's like having a GPS and not using it to get to where you want to go. It's kind of crazy, right? So when we're just doing random things, or we're doing what that person did or what they say to do, it doesn't have us streamline and get into alignment with the path that the universe already has laid out for us. So we get into the path and into the flow and into the direction that the universe has laid out for us by intuitive action and by inspired action. So that is what inspired action is. It's the breadcrumbs that the universe is leaving for us. It's, like I said, it's the turn left here, go another 300 meters and then reassess, or then turn right. It's that guidance that we need to get to where we want to go. And the universe really does have it laid out in the least amount of time, the most pleasurable way we could do it. And it's our job to try to align with those nudges of where to go and where to turn, what to do and what not to do, when to stay the course and when to take a U-turn. We need to link up to that. We need that advice. We need that guidance in order to move forward and continue on, making the impact we want to make, making the changes we want to make, experiencing the success that we truly want. It really serves us to link up with that GPS that's inside. So, how do we do this? Well, what we do is we wait for nudges. We wait for what naturally feels good for us to be doing. So there's a reason I say wait. It's really important to understand that all action isn't what we need to do. We don't need to do everything and anything. We just need to do what's going to work. So we need to wait until we feel inspired to do something. This is when we feel like that this next step or this next thing feels right. I want you to think of a time in your life when you did something that just felt right. Whether it was something as simple as going to a concert or going out on a blind date or taking a trip, taking a vacation, leaving your job. It could be simple or it can be huge life-changing things. But when it feels right and you don't know why, but you just know you need to do it, that is when you have inspired action. So in a few moments, I'm going to go through some questions to ask yourself to pinpoint if the action you're doing is inspired. So before I do that, I just want to reiterate that when you launch a desire, you are being offered inspired action to take all the time. So when I have a goal, whether it's a goal to fill up a program that I'm offering, or to call in my dream home, or to get clarity on a situation, or even if it's just like, what's next, universe? What's next in my business, in my personal growth, my health? So whatever it is that I've got going on, I know that the universe is aligning those inspired actions for us to take the same way as you enter New York on the GPS, and the GPS just does give you the next action to take. It does give you the path, right? You need to know that with certainty and with faith. And if that's something that you're just growing and cultivating, if faith is something that you struggle with, just stay the course. It's just something you practice, but taking inspired action will really help you to strengthen faith, because the next time you get an inner nudge and you don't know why, but you just need to take this workshop or read this book or watch this movie. People are recommending it to you, or you feel just pulled or called to do it for one reason or another. And then you do it. You will go, oh yeah, totally, that felt right. And what I learned from that is this, or it just propelled me forward, or it really gave me an aha moment I needed, or it really helped me to feel good in that moment. Whatever it is, the reason why the universe put it before you will be clear after you do it, right? So, and sometimes it takes a while to be clear, but generally, you kind of go, I don't know why, but I'm feeling really called to do this. And then, yay, I can't believe that was so fun, or that was so great. So as you take inspired action, you strengthen your faith muscle. It will help you to have that faith, which helps you to have the trust, which helps you to lean into the process even more. It allows you to be led. It allows you to surrender to what feels good and what you're being called to do. So inspired action is when you feel called to do something. You feel led to do something. It just feels right. And there's many ways in which we start to feel called or feel led. A few minutes ago, I mentioned if numerous people are recommending a book or a coach or a course or a movie, you start to go, oh, okay, yeah, now 3 people have mentioned this in a week. I better listen to that podcast, or I better watch that movie. So it's the same thing as when you feel consistently nudged. Maybe there's a mentor that keeps appearing in front of you, and the offers that she or he offers just resonate so deeply. And it's like, I just need to take a course with that person. I need to be in their energy. Or it could be, like I mentioned, a place. I don't know why, but I need to go to Brazil, or I need to go on this meditation retreat, or it could be, I don't know why, but I'm really called to eat more vegan food. It's just something that you're nudged to do, and you don't really know why, but you just are. If you had unlimited resources, money, time, all the things, it would just be something you're doing, right? So we just need to start doing those things anyways, before we feel like we're ready, before everything aligns. We just need to practice acting when we are inspired. So I'm going to take you through the inspired action method that I use with my clients, and of course with myself, because I'm always my first guinea pig. And I've been doing this for a long time. So I've been practicing this method for, quite a few years now. And this is how I get to know if something is inspired, if it's an inspired action or not. Okay, so once I launch my desire, I focus on, I go through the 6 pillars, but I focus on being in alignment with it. And I look at my beliefs and what may be blocking me in that way. And then I become on the lookout for what my next step is. I hold the energy of, I'm just going to chill until I am led to my next step. So this is where I often talk to my guides, my angels, the universe, and I say, universe, show me the next step, or guides or angels or Nana or whoever it is that you talk to. Please help me to see what the next step is. That's a beautiful way to just be open to being led instead of going, okay, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Okay, I got to do low carb. And it's like, well, why? Were you inspired to do low carb? Or is it just what Jennifer Aniston did or what your friend did, right? Is it an inspired action, or is it just something that everyone else is doing? I say, universe, I am so ready for my next action. I will do my part. I'm ready and willing. And I wait. I hold that energy of waiting, having faith that the next action is coming to me. And then as I start to see things come into my experience, something comes up, maybe a retreat, and I go, is this inspired action, or is this just something I don't really know, right? So I go through these questions and I ask myself, number 1, does this feel exciting? Everything I've ever done that propels me forward feels exciting. So even if there's parts within it that feel a little overwhelming, like, it feels exciting to start my own business, but I don't quite know the tech stuff, or I don't quite know how it would work. Okay, so just does it feel exciting? If you had all the support and other people could take care of some of the details, or, you didn't have to be bothered with how it's going to work. Does the idea feel exciting? Does starting a business or taking up painting or, moving or quitting your job or going out on a blind date or whatever, does it feel exciting? That's always the first question I ask myself. Does this feel exciting? Okay. And that's one way that you will truly know. That's the very first way you will truly know if it's inspired. When I used to diet, the idea of another diet actually didn't feel exciting. Like counting calories and excluding all these foods, it was like dreaded, but it was what I felt I had to do, right? So that wouldn't be my method to lose weight or to get healthier. It wouldn't be the way that feels like you want to have a panic attack thinking about it. It would be an exciting thing. Maybe a group program focused on whole eating and, intuitive eating. Like, ooh, that feels exciting. That would be a better action to take towards your goal of increased health. So the first question, does it feel exciting? The second question is, does this bring me closer to my goal or closer to my dream life or closer to the image I see for myself in my mind's eye? Does this bring me closer to my goal? I recently invested in a coach and invested in another group program because I'm always expanding, and I highly believe in coaching and in, programs and being with like-minded people. We actually have our first call today, which I'm so excited about. But when I was, debating and really tapping into, was this program right for me? Because of course it cost quite a bit and it's a leap and it's time commitment and all of that. Was it right for me? Does it feel exciting? Was the first question. Yes, this person is an incredible coach and I'm excited to work with her in the group. I've been listening to her podcast. I just love her. So yes, it feels exciting. Does it bring me closer to my goal? Hell yes, it does. Being in a group container, being, advancing my skills, advancing my own energy, busting through my next level so that I can continue to teach you and bring you to your next levels. Of course it feels exciting and brings me closer to my goal. So far, 2 of the 3 questions are on point. And then the third is, does it feel good to be doing this? Does it even feel good? Like, I know it sounds so basic, but think of all the things we do that don't feel good. The decisions we make and people go like, well, I have no other choice, so I have to do this. Or I just have to stay in my job because I have nowhere else to go, and what would I do? Like, no, it doesn't feel good in this job, but I have to. It's like, no. We need to start thinking bigger. It's not inspired action if it doesn't feel good. And in that, I just want to say right now to all of you that had some questions pop up, sometimes things feel scary. Sometimes things feel big, right? Like investing in yourself. Maybe you put down an investment of $1 or $2 or $5,000. That feels exciting and you really think it's going to take you closer to your goal. And does it feel good? And it's easy to say, well, spending that much money might not feel good, but deep down you'll know. Right? Deep down, you'll know, like, actually, this feels fucking empowering to invest in myself and become someone who invests in herself and become someone who's not afraid to step out of her comfort zone and not afraid to level up and rise up and get help and be mentored, right? Yes, it feels good. So sometimes we got to dig under the superficial level of, well, investing $5,000 is actually scary. I don't know if it feels good. Dig deeper. Does it actually feel good to be a badass and be truly stepping into your next level and investing in yourself, So that's the way to determine if it is inspired action. Those 3 questions. Does it feel exciting? Does it bring me closer to my goal? And does it feel good? And then if you feel that the action feels good and is exciting and would bring you closer to your goal, the important part here is to go forward with faith. Go forward. This is part of the inspired action method, is you then need to go forward with faith, with hope, with optimism, with the understanding that it will work out because it has to work out, because this inspiration was given to you by the universe. You need to have faith that you're going to to achieve your goals, that you're going to move forward by doing this, that this is an important piece of your journey, and that this action will help you. And then the third part of the inspired action method. So the first part was asking yourself the 3 questions. The second part is going forward, doing it, leaping in with faith. And then the third part is showing up and giving it all you've got. Doing the action to the best of your ability, really doing your best to show up, right? So this is a part that can sometimes be tricky. We can, go all in at the beginning. It's easy to start something with gangbusters and optimism. And then as time goes on, the doubt creeps in and the lack of confidence creeps in and maybe even self-sabotage. Well, this is the time to truly get refocused with the action that you're doing, with the goal that you have, with your willingness to co-create, your willingness to expand and step into that higher version of yourself, to know that it's not always comfortable, that it's not always easy, that expansion and growth can have, parts that feel messy, that you need to release, that you come across things that you've been really trying not to address or not to face head on. So it might sometimes feel messy. It might sometimes feel crazy and, scary, but you need to show up and give it all you've got. So for me, in the example of the program that I'm embarking on, I need to focus on showing up, on doing the work, on being present in the calls and following, her advice and leaning into the group and leaning into the support, not just invest and join the group and then not do the work and not show up. Then of course it's not going to work, right? So in order to take the inspired action method fully, and in order to take it the full distance, we need to end strong. We need to show up strong. We need to not just do the investment or not just do the leap and not just do the leap and really try to believe it's going to work out. We need to then show up, to show up 100% and give it all we've got and really do the work. And this is when we move mountains, right? So to recap, the inspired action is when you feel called to do something, when you feel like the universe is leading you there. You're noticing synchronicities. You don't know why, but you're feeling led. You're feeling called. That is when you take action. That is what inspired or intuitive action is all about. It comes from a place that's bigger than you. It's bigger than just what you should do. It's bigger than your brain and your mind. It comes from a being led, a being pulled. That is inspired action. If you're unsure if it's inspired, you go through the 3 questions. Does it feel exciting? Does it bring me closer to my goal? And does it feel good? And if it does, then you take the leap, you take the action, you say yes, you put the down payment, you go out for the walk or join the program or book the ticket or whatever it is, with the knowing and with the faith that you're being led. So it has to work out. It has to be the right direction, and that it will. Life is working for me. This is an important step. This is part of my process. This is part of my next level. And I'm going to go forward with confidence and with faith. And then the last step is to show up, to give it all you've got, to show up with integrity and do your best, to get through the uncomfortable bits, to face the up level, and to really just show up with everything that you've got. When you're feeling uninspired, when you're feeling unmotivated, when nothing feels clear and you're unsure of what to do and just nothing feels obvious, you're not being led in any one direction, what you need to do is not act until you feel inspired. And this can be really hard. If you're a doer, if you have control issues or are a planner, or just really gung-ho on, taking the bull by the horns and doing all the things and having the mantras and doing the processes, it can sometimes be hard to just chill. And this is something that I remind myself of all the time. If you're not inspired, don't act. If you're not inspired, just focus on the other aspects, the other pillars of manifestation. Focus on the desire. Focus on getting more clear on the desire. Focus on embodying the her that already has the desire. Focus on the goal, how it's going to feel to have it. Focus on the other things. Focus on the energetic aspect of the goal, not the physical actions. So if you're not feeling inspired and you don't know what to do and you're feeling funky and you don't know how to get out of it and you don't know what you should be doing and you don't know this and you don't, you're feeling that, it's time to go back to the energetic piece. It's time to chill out a little bit. It's time to run a bath. It's time to walk away and just have faith that the next step will be presented to you as it will, in perfect timing. So if you're feeling like you have an income goal and you don't know how to reach it, or you are wanting to lose weight and nothing you're doing is working and you're feeling frustrated and you don't know where to go, it's time to back off. It's time to focus on self-love. It's time to nurture. It's time to slow down. It's time to tune into intuitive guidance instead of doing more things. Instead, this isn't the time to pull the trigger on a decision, to invest in yourself, to start a new program. It's the time to chill. It's the time to go inward and really look at the energetic aspects of what it is that you want. It's not the time to take action. So I hope that helps you today. I hope that really gives you that piece of how to act and when to act and how to know if what you're doing is right. And until I see you next time, what you can do to practice taking intuitive action is to not act until you feel pulled. So until I see you next time in the next episode, I want you to actually practice not acting until you feel pulled. And as always, I am sending you so much love and light, and I can't wait to dig into the last pillar, which is in the next episode. And it's all about the energy of receptivity and how to get into receiving mode, the last part of the manifestation process that truly allows things to be materialized. This is where they are allowed to come into physical form. This is when the check actually shows up, where the guy or the woman you've been waiting for actually comes into your experience, where the synchronicities happen, being available for miracles. I cannot wait to dig into that with you. You're doing such good work, and I will see you in the next episode. Hey love, thank you for listening to today's episode. I really hope you got some incredible value from it. And if you did, pretty please head over to iTunes and leave me a review and hit the subscribe button. This really does make a huge difference in the success of the show. And it really shows me that you want this type of training, tools, techniques to hack law of attraction and have you manifest fast. Thank you in advance for that. And before I go, I want to remind you that there is a version of yourself that already has what it is that you want, already has the manifestations, already has the love, the abundance, the success, the freedom, the self-confidence, and everything else that you could want. So what I'm going to encourage you to do today is to envision her, embody her, ask, what's her energy about? What's her mindset like? And what advice does she have for me today? As you do this, my love, you awaken her. You quantum align, you collapse time, and you make yourself able to manifest the life you want so much quicker. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode.